Hey, shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings. See fellow brothers pushing his word in truth and sincerity. Coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. And this is going to be a quick lesson, Lord's will, straight to the point. Pray that it's edifying. And the inspiration of this lesson is from a dream that I had this morning. So it's later in the evenings, 4:15. Sun's getting ready to go down pretty soon. So this was in the morning, so it's still with me. And the dream, it goes something like this. I was amongst the American military. And seeing the morale of the American military as they were very weak, and they didn't want to fight. Pretty much, America and Russia were getting ready to go to war. Okay, like they were getting ready to duke it out the following day, the next day, and I was amongst the American military, and the officers, they were incompetent. The men were afraid. The men were weak. I'm speaking about the American military. They were weak. They didn't want to fight. It was like the liberal, openly what was it called? LGBT. It was like weak men like that, soy boys. They didn't know. They had no strength to fight. There was no meanness in them. There was no toughness in them. Again, the officers were incompetent. Because I was like, don't you think you need to reinforce your flanks? So they won't. The Russian military won't flank you. And they was like, no, we'll be all right. Don't worry about it. And the Russian military had a lot more forces. Now, that was the American military. And simultaneously, I also saw I was amongst the Russian military as well. And the Russian military, when I was looking at them, they were like big, strong. They had real tough spirits on them. They was ready. They was ready to fight. Mind you, the war was getting ready to pop off the very next day. So I see the American military, and they're weak, they're frail, they don't want to fight. There's no morale. There's no we're gonna win. As well as they were down troops. They didn't have a lot of forces to fight. And the Russian military, they had a whole bunch of people to fight. And the men that were in that military, they were rough. They were rugged. They looked like they was ready to die. Okay, they was ready to fight. So I woke up and I was just kind of pondering upon it. And of course, precepts popped into my mind. And so I just kind of been meditating on that. It's been sticking with me. So I was like, you know what? Let me. I wanted to do a video earlier, but I had things to do. So now, now I'm doing a video. This is I was trying to find, there's a clip within the last couple of years that was released, and it was a clip. I couldn't find it. I did like a quick little search. I couldn't find it. And it was like a collage of the Russian military and the might, they breaking boards and, wrestling bears and, stuff that, military men do. Then they had like the North Korean army. They was flying, kicking shit. Ready for war. None of that weak stuff. The Chinese as well. And Xi Jinping, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, pretty much demanded his men to prepare for war, and no more of that metrosexual shit. He demanded that the men in China are men. No more of that weird, weak Western spirit, right? And then it had a clip of America and their military, and it was nothing but the LGBT, women, people that joined the military because they just didn't have anything else to do, or they were promised a better life. They were, and it didn't turn out that way. It sucked. There's a lot of videos out there, but it was like a collage. Give me a second. Of those videos, I wanted to put that up. If a brother know what that is, you can go ahead and put that on the comment board. Somebody could check it out, and I'll probably pin it. But this is an article. This was from last year. U.S. military rated as weak may not be able to win one war as tensions grow with China and Russia. You have that recent movie, Leave the World Behind. Okay, when there was a cyber attack on the U.S. grid that took down all communications, all pretty much the internet, the lights. Okay, and it was just big chaos, and they were trying to figure out who was doing it. Okay, Iran, China. Okay, Russia. This is the next war. Like I said, in that dream, America and Russia officially locked arms, and they was getting ready to fight. And the spirit of America was weak. It was frail. They didn't want to fight. And the spirit of Russia, they was coming to take off. They was coming to take heads off. They was all rough men. They were all big men. They had a mean look on their face. Okay, this is let me just go into the scriptures. You can read that article, but I mean the title gives us everything we need. Okay, this is Jeremiah 51 and 30. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, right? Because the America once was a mighty nation, right? And then they got comfortable. The men have become like women. What's gonna go in that? They pushed this agenda. There's all type of drugs. A lot of Edomites are dying. Okay, because of overdoses. There is an epidemic. That's like one of the main causes of death in America is overdose of drugs. So you have all these able-bodied men that should be in a military, should be in these different armed forces. All right, they're not. Nobody's joining because either they're dead, they're overweight. Right. Earlier this year, the United States military, there was a report that came out that said 70%. Me and a brother did Kasaba. We did a video on it. 70% of the U.S. armed forces are obese. Okay, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. Their might has failed. They became as women. Because when things get real tough, okay, when things get real, when we're in a time of war, we're in a time of martial law, we're in a time of great death, great evils, great, sorrow. Basically, when war is taking place, women, they fall right into their lot. You can see the woman in them. They're afraid, they're scared, right? Because a woman is not built to go out to war. So the mighty men of Babylon, which are supposed to be the guards, the ones that protect America, right? Protect the homeland, the motherland. They are going to be as women. A woman ain't trying to go and fight, okay, in the military. Okay, she stays at home. Okay, what can she do out there? They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Let me I want to go to hit some other precepts. I'm just gonna hit them quick. This is not like a long lesson or anything like that. Just it was on my spirit. It was prophecy really, because when they bring back the draft, a lot of people are gonna be running from that draft. You're gonna have a lot of these men, okay, that that are weak-minded, overweight. All they know is video games. you know, or they got a little college degree. All they know is the corporate, you know, or they were social media influencers. Now they got to get put into the army. You know, they got to get put into one of these special forces, the military, and they're gonna be, you know, not willing to go. And the ones that do get put into those ranks, their spirit is gonna be totally lackluster. They're gonna be afraid, okay, in comparison to them Russians, okay, that are ready to tear your ass up, okay, in comparison to the Iranians, which are ready to tear your ass up, real men. None of that HOMO, okay, stuff you have here in America, okay. What's a woman? What's a man? You can do anything you want. You sodomites, you gonna get thrown into the military. So a lot of people gonna run. They gonna run, okay. There's gonna be a very fearful spirit here in America, okay. There's gonna be a lot of protesting, and that's the perfect time to strike. China's gonna take back Taiwan, and the world is going to see America lose its power simultaneously, you know, and more nations are going to take up a stance against America. This is the fall of this place. Let me see, where am I at? Let me see. Jeremiah 51:57, and I will make drunk her princes and her wise men, her captains and her rulers and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, said the Lord, whose name is the Lord of hosts, right? Because the Lord is going to take down pretty much the whole host of America, the whole host of Babylon the Great, okay? And it's going to be shown how weak America is. The whole world's going to laugh at America when, you know, when this war is popped off and troops are sent to that region, to the Red Sea, to the Persian Gulf, okay, to the land of Jehoshaphat, or the place of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh Shaphat. All right, the mighty men, they're gonna forborn. You know what? Let's go back. Let's look at that word, forborn. Okay. So that was, you know, that was I wouldn't say a super heavy dream. It was just a small little dream, but it's heavy in a sense that seeing the morale of American army, okay, the American military, the incompetence of the different military officers, you know, the war strategy, it's just going to fail. Because if you don't, you can have the greatest plan, you can have the greatest weapons, but if you don't have competent, real men, okay, you know, manning those weapons, okay, that want to fight for the homeland, okay. Everybody feels like America has done them wrong, so they don't want to fight for something that has done them wrong. That word there is chadal, okay, to stop, cease, desist. See that? Cease and desist. Forgo, cease to be, leave, undone, forbear, okay. Let's look at this word cease. Let's just look it up. We know what it is. Bring or come to an end. Okay? Come to an end. Halt. Come to a halt. Come to a stop. An end. It's going to be a very fearful spirit, okay, amongst the inhabitants of Babylon. Okay? Because the military is supposed to reinforce, okay, the power. It's the power of a nation. So they got a weak military. When there's going to be mutiny within the military, right? Then they're begging people to come back, okay? Because they let people go due to they didn't want to take the pop, right? They didn't want to take the pop, so they let people go. So now they're begging people back, and they like, man, to hell with that. I don't want to go back into that shit, okay? I'm not trying to go back into a place where, you know, I have no rights. They want to put something that shouldn't be in my body. Okay? So the morale is low in America. And you got people like this article that are coming out and say the military is weak. They can't win one war. They can't win a war against Russia. They can't win a war against China. Okay, they got their ass kicked in Afghanistan. They just left all their equipment, right, and they just left Afghanistan a mess. And the same people that they were fighting against came back and seized control of the land. Okay, and then you have so many domestic disputes that are going on in America. You have a border that's wide open, people flooded in. Okay, and Joe Biden, you know, which it's not really him, it's the people behind him. He pretty much declared war on a sovereign nation, Yemen. And Congress is the only one to be able to declare war unless they go to there's an act, the Powers Act or something like that, where it's like an emergency act in which the president can, you know, strike a nation, but only in an emergency and only if, you know, the homeland, the American citizens were in danger, and that's not the case. So they just doing whatever the hell they want to do, and this is moving America closer to World War III, okay, which is prophesied in the scriptures, okay. And the people here in Babylon, they make it their point not to look into these different things, the majority of them, and to hope that everything's going to be all right, because you still have Uber Eats, you still got pizza, you still going to the club. Jake, you know, I had a text today with my family. They want to meet. They want to do like a siblings, you know, get together and spend one of the holidays of 2024 together. So yeah, let's go to Vegas. So Jake's mind is not on what you know, what's getting ready to go down. Them Russians, they know they're in a war right now. They know very well. They very well know that United States is in a war with them through proxy, okay, in Ukraine. Okay, and eventually they're gonna come to the aid of Iran. The scriptures speak about that. That's Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Okay, so everybody's getting pulled into this war. And seeing in that dream, right? I was like, damn, they were done, man. They had no spirit in them. They didn't want to be there. They had like a sodomite woman spirit on. You want to be around real men, right? This society has taught you, oh yeah, you know, the woman, you gotta be nice to the woman and you gotta do this, man. To hell with all that, okay? When that time comes, women gonna be looking for the roughest guy out there, the guy that's gonna protect her. It's going, and this is all leading into, this could be the year the Apostle Elder Tahar, the Spirit was on him. Okay, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. But guess what? It's coming. That's for sure. Okay, that's for sure. Well, the scriptures say how the Lord, he will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. Let's bring that out. So if I had a dream like that, and brothers are having dreams daily, right? Different brothers from different camps. Some are, you know, get put on for edification. Some, you know, just tell amongst the brotherhood, as well as you have some, you have these other nations. You have these other nations that are having dreams as well. You know what? I'm curious to do something. Let me see. Dream of World War III. Right? See, look, Esau. Prophetic Dream 2024. Let's just play.
We were in a party, not doing much, just in a party or hanging out per se. And it was just all fun and festivities. One moment, I go into the house, and then suddenly I come back out, and I see soldiers everywhere, and they were not our soldiers, okay? I see helicopters, Apache helicopters, and these choppers were not ours as well. And then I go back again inside the house, and then suddenly I just hear gunshots blasting off, and I'm talking about machine gun fire, M16 type fire, okay? Just rapid fire, and they started killing everyone in sight. And we're not talking about just military folk, we're talking about citizens they were killing.
Yep, this is Jacob's trouble. This is all random, by the way. I didn't know I was going to do this. But you can go on YouTube. I might do it, just a video of just going through people's dreams, right? This is, he's speaking about Jacob's trouble. Okay, they were killing citizens. They were what? He said festivities. Right? It shall be as in the days of Noah, as in the days of Lot. They were eating, they were drinking, they were giving in marriage. It's gonna take the majority of the people by surprise. This is why it's going to be such a shock to them, because never in a million years good old America will ever be in a dire situation like this. And then when they're called to fight, they're going to be too afraid. They weren't prepared. Where these other nations, they're preparing to fight. They know that war with America is imminent. They suffered loss. They know about death. Okay, to this day, since October 7th, right, with the attack on Israel, and then they came back at them, the retaliation, over 22,000 so-called Palestinians dead. Over 1% of the children population in that area dead. So they know about death. They're in a different spirit. They're in like when I saw them rushing, they was ready to give up their life. Okay, they was ready to give up their life. I was within the seeing within the American military, and they was afraid. That spirit jumped on me. Like, man, I ain't trying to do y'all. This is y'all fight. They push that spirit of fear, because the officers were incompetent, the soldiers didn't want to fight. They just looked like video game players. Video game players, overweight, sad demeanor, afraid, and that spirit hops on other individuals. Even within our law, if a man is afraid to fight, he gotta take his ass home. Why? Because that spirit of fear is an actual spirit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have never been so scared of a dream in my entire life.
See?
Up until that moment, it was just complete devastation, and everybody that was around when I came outside was dead.
Look at that. Let's go back. Let's see if we can find another one. Right? I just want to do like some quick stuff. I don't want to do like a long video. Let's just play a little bit here. I'm gonna get a few more scriptures. Let's just see what Esau has to say. Internet tripping. Just bear with me.
Best battleship. And I noticed that it was in a standoff with a Russian battleship.
Look at that. Well, look at that.
Honestly, it looked like the Gulf of Mexico, but
look at that. My internet's tripping. We're gonna play that again just a little bit, but this is kind of the same dream that I had. America and Russia were getting ready to go to war. Literally the very next day, and the spirit of the Russians was ready. They was ready to die. They was ready to devour. Okay, and the spirit of America was weak as a woman. Okay, when you there's an explosion or something, or a gunshot in an area, a public area, and people start running, all you hear is screams. Women screaming, women and children. And then the children around, the woman puts a fearful spirit on the children. So you just got women and children screaming.
Hey folks, so I had a dream last night that I was standing on the upper deck of a battleship, a U.S. battleship, and I noticed that it was in a standoff with a Russian battleship. Honestly, it looked like the Gulf of Mexico, but I could be wrong. But I kept thinking, if either one of these ships hit each other, World War III. Then I started seeing holes form in the Russian battleship, and it started to sink. Now, whatever hit it from behind, and I knew it wasn't a U.S. ship. It's very odd. But
it could, you know what? It could be what he saw. He could see a chariot that hit the Russians, right? So the Lord can have the angels come in, because the angels are actually orchestrating these things, and what sabotage, like to get it started, right? The Lord cold, man. The Lord is cold.
Didn't know that, and the U.S. got blamed and sunk into World War III.
Look at that. See that? The U.S. got blamed. So it could. What that sound like? It could have been a chariot that hit that Russian ship, and then it got blamed. America. It was blamed for America. It was blamed. America was to blame. That's the same MO that America did around the world, blaming other nations to go into war. Who knows what it could have been?
Again, I was standing on this deck of the U.S. battleship, and not a shot was fired from this battleship. And then it was like I woke up in Russia. It was so odd. Everything was chaotic. Everybody was in a hurry for some reason. And I remember I kept looking up in the sky, and I'm probably going to have to point the camera up here to show y'all what I'm talking about. So just like this, it was daytime in Russia. And then it was cloudy like this too, and I saw 3 what looked like stars, just like that.
UFOs, chariots.
And everybody started panicking when they saw it because it was really bright through the clouds. And then I saw something go right straight through the middle of them, and it looked like, I don't know, a missile.
Okay.
And then I started seeing more. Some were exploding in the sky, but there was thousands of, you're out at night and you see a satellite go over. It looked like that, but they were moving really, really, really fast. And again, some were colliding with others and exploding. And I didn't say anything in my dream, but I knew that Russia had sent nuclear arsenal. I don't know where, but in my dream, I was in a hurry to get to Kiev, Ukraine. I don't know why.
But see, that's pretty much it on that. I mean, you can go on and on. I'm not gonna break down the whole video and the dream and all that. But he's seeing the end. Let's just bring out this spirit. This precept. Excuse me. Joel 2:28, and it shall come to pass afterwards that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in heaven and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord. So there's going to be all type of signs in the heavens. Okay, it's going to be a lot of people seeing things, seeing dreams, seeing visions. And I'm pretty sure, you know what? I'm going to do it. Lord's will, I'm going to do a video. Who knows when, but just going through some of these little dreams. Let's hear what the your black woman got to say, and then we gonna hit another scripture and we gonna get out of here. Lord's will. And this is the perfect time for the internet to be slow, the computer to be slow.
Please watch full video to reach more souls for Christ. Thank you.
About war. Or please show me something. Please confirm if these messages are true, if they are from you. And so when I went to sleep
it's tripping.
last night, I had a dream. I had a very long dream, and the dream itself had various scenes, which I won't share because they were personal to me. However, one of the scenes definitely stood out. In the scene, my sister and I entered into a plane, and as soon as the plane took off, there were missiles in the sky. It was daytime. The missiles lit up the sky. There were buildings that were leveled because of bombs. And we were in the plane panicking because obviously we're a light. We're in the sky when these things are happening. We're seeing them happen in real time. And I just remember at some point we were flying over a large body of water, and all of a sudden a missile hit the water and a mushroom cloud of fire. That's the only way I can explain it. A mushroom cloud of fire emitted from the water. And I woke up, and that was the dream.
Well, there you go. You see that? You see, I mean, it's nothing but scriptures, man. That's nothing but the day of the Lord. That's the great and terrible day of the Lord. The Most High is allowing people to see this day. Okay, you know what? Hold on, give me a second. Let me try to put this computer on the charger, and then we're going to read a couple more scriptures really quick, and then Yahweh Shai willing, we're going to close it out. And I'm pretty sure you can go on YouTube and you can see multiple videos of people basically bringing out their dreams of World War III. Okay. Let me see. Give me a second. Isaiah 13:7, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames when those missiles are actually flown off. But how much chaos, right? The Lord said in Luke 12, right? I come to send fire on the earth, and what will I if it be already kindled? Even prior to those flames, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos in the earth. And then, like one of the videos we watched, it was just a normal day, festivities, and then boom, foreign troops. So the missiles are not going to fly off right then and there. There's going to be certain events that are going to take place to bring pretty much America into chaos. Okay, then those missiles are going to fly. Okay, we're going to experience how the Lord is going to do it. It's going to be a very terrible, eerie time. Okay, Isaiah 19:16, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women. Egypt is speaking about America. You can only imagine when those plagues were going on in the time of Egypt, right, how fearful the Egyptians were. Okay, and we know America, the Edomite now is the modern day Egyptian. They're the Egyptian of this time. Well, America is also likened unto Egypt, spiritually Egypt. Revelation 11:8, as well as spiritual Sodom. And I'm gonna let you tell me, how did Sodom go out? How did those 5 cities go out? Sodom, Gomorrah, Zama, Zeboim, and Atma, or Zoar. I could be, a little off. We could always look it up. But there were 5 cities in total. And how did the Most High take out Sodom? And there's scriptures that speak to how this modern day Egypt, Babylon the Great, is going to go out like Sodom and Gomorrah. Says that in a couple of scriptures. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord, which he shaketh over it, right? Because these are going to be judgments of the Heavenly Father. And the people, they hear what we're saying, but they're not taking consideration, just like those ancient Egyptians, till the Most High starts smiting them. And then when the Lord took out the firstborn of all creatures in Egypt, save the children of Israel, right? So the children, it didn't touch the children of Israel. And this time, the children of Israel are going to be the elect amongst Israel. Okay, you Jakes, you gonna suffer these things. It's gonna be your trouble. Nahum 3:13, behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of the land shall be set wide open unto thy enemies. You got the borders are open. All right, but this is speaking really about the missiles. The fire shall devour thy bars. You see that? So, I mean, the evidence is there. Like I said, this was just like a quick little lesson. Again, Lord's will, I want to do a lesson just kind of going into people's dreams, because they're seeing visions of the end. As we read in Joel, the 2nd chapter, the Most High will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. And they're going to see visions. They're going to prophesy. They're going to, women are going to see things, right? So until next time, shalom to the elect.